You love the cheesy intro music, James?
Not particularly. Hate the Thunderbirds.
It's good. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello and welcome to this week's 11 o'clock waffle with me, Mac Forsyth, right here on Radio Wave. Setting records all over the show this week.
How so?
Well, I shall tell you, shall I, James?
Go for it.
Okay. Our first guest, setting a record for being the first ever second year student onto the radio show. Yes, it is show number 3 and we've already set all these records. Last week's was the first ever all-female 11 o'clock waffle. Week 1 had to go with his very unbeaten score of 60.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
We'll be in the Guinness World Records before you know it.
So, welcome second year student and digital media.
Yes, that's right.
It's Alex Walton Kay.
Yeah.
Our second guest today. We're going international. It's Maja.
Yeah. First Norwegian guest, is it?
First
or?
Norwegian guest.
Yay.
So, you think of Scandinavia, James? What do you think? ABBA? Uh-huh. Do you also
I tend to think of the Swedish Chef.
Makes me feel very nationalist.
See, that was supposed to be Swedish Chef, but I hit Norwegian National Anthem by mistake. So should we just have the Swedish Chef anyway for fun?
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Swedish.
That's nice. Well, at least the Swedish people you think of. I mean, Swedes are Swedish. I mean, yeah.
So, welcome, Maja.
Thank you.
And finally, do you know what your record is?
I'm the first returning guest.
Yes, you are.
I'm not though, am I? Am I?
I am. Yeah, well, this is only the first show.
First returning guest.
First returning guest. And where did you finish last time, James?
I lost the initial round and
No,
won the bonus round.
Well, yeah. You did brilliantly at the start. So, welcome, James.
Thank you for having me back.
So, this week we shall be discussing, as ever, the week's news and events. So, shall we start the show?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, go for
Let's.
I love that little button.
it.
Bloody ka-ching.
And I know Freya doesn't like it much, but I like it.
She's
All the more
actually
reason to
listening in.
play it.
That's good. I thought she was in a seminar.
Mm.
Okay. Question 1. Egypt's protests to overthrow the president have succeeded. So who should the world turn to next and remove from power? I think we'll start with James on this one, as you're the experienced member of the group today.
Yeah. I kind of had two answers for this question. My initial thought was just America in general, and then I dug a little deeper and decided to go with Michael Bay. Get him off Transformers, because then we might actually get a decent Transformers film.
Ooh, so it's a good answer.
As fantastic as they are, they could be better.
And
He wasn't there just
I like
blowing
the first
shit up.
one. I like the first one, but I haven't seen the second one yet.
You're not missing much.
Okay. Good start from James. Let's get to Alex.
Oh, hello. Who would I remove from power?
Yes.
Well, the obvious answer is, of course, the Conservative government. I hope you're listening, Stanley. Well, apart from that, if you had asked me back in 1985, it'd probably be Michael Grade and Jonathan Powell, and any Doctor Who fans out there can come to their own conclusions about that. They're the two chaps who took it off the air.
Oh.
So we want
Although, it's come back all the better, though.
Yes.
So,
they still should get removed from power, in my view.
good answer, Alex. Maja, what have you got?
Well, I was thinking about the entirety of America as well, actually, but I decided to go with Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. I think it's time for a bit of a revolution there.
It's a top answer. Well done, Maja. Taking a storming lead there. See, Maja took the question seriously, James.
I tried not to, but I couldn't find a not serious answer to it, so...
What's not serious about getting rid of Michael Bay?
Actually, well,
All he does is blow things up.
yeah, you got a point. I'm surprised nobody went for Nigel.
Well, we don't know whether he'd be listening in.
Oh, he's probably on holiday again with our tuition fee money.
It's a possibility.
Okay, onwards and upwards. Formula 1 driver Robert Kubica is planning a return to racing before the end of the year. This after the Pole suffered multiple fractures to his arm, leg and a partially severed right hand. But what is the most remarkable recovery from injury in the world? We'll start with Maja on this one.
Okay. I have a good one, actually. There was a woman in Norway who was out skiing and she fell through the ice. She was skiing on this waterfall and she was trapped under the ice for 80 minutes, which is like crazy. And she was like, her whole body was basically dead. But because her body temperature had sunk so much and she hadn't drowned, she must have found like a lung of air somewhere. Her body temperature was down to 13.7 degrees Celsius, which is insane. Like no one has ever survived that. But she survived without any brain damage at all. She did have some physical injuries, but she survived, and I think that's pretty incredible.
We could have another Ed on our
I'm
hands.
on a roll.
I've got a pretty good answer for this one as myself, you know. So.
Okay, we'll go to James. James is quite keen.
Yeah, I read about this woman, Vesna Vulovic, who was she was a stewardess on Siberian Airlines back in the 70s, and on January the 26th, 1972, she was on a plane, and terrorists took it over at 33,000 feet, and they blew it up.
Whoa!
Not only did she survive the explosion, she fell 33,000 feet and hit a mountain.
Oh my god!
Breaking pretty much every bone in her body. She went into a coma, woke up a few months later, asked for a cigarette, was paralysed for about a year, and then managed to just start walking again, and then got back on planes and continued working like nothing had happened.
Wow.
That's incredible.
They blew her up.
Ooh.
Alex,
I've got to try and top those two.
top those two
dear.
epic answers.
Well, my answer is any student to gain employment after the university system in England.
It's good.
It's more psychological injury.
Wow, that's the end of the first two questions. It's been a good start. In last place on 6 points, Alex. Second place on 8, it's James. But taking a storming lead on 10, it's Maja.
Woo!
You could be the only. You could possibly break Ed's record the way you're going.
I'm gonna try that, but I'm not making any guarantees.
That was Stop and Stare by One Republic, and before that, Baby Please Don't Go by Them from the film Good Morning Vietnam.
Fantastic film. Some
Awesome
of
film.
Robin Williams' best work, I think.
Got an Oscar? Did he get Oscar nominated for that? Or
Quite probably, and if he didn't, he should have.
getting a few answers on the Facebook about the last question. Well, the question about remarkable recoveries. Carla's come in with this tale about a woman who had a stroke, and after she came out of that stroke, had a Jamaican accent. So Carla wants points for that, doesn't she?
She does.
A pittance.
A pittance. Well, she's not actually on the show this week, but she will be back on it again soon, I imagine.
Yep, trying to defend her
Second
title
place.
of mediocrity.
Robin Williams was nominated for Best Actor in Good Morning Vietnam.
Shame he didn't win it.
Yeah, he should have won it. Right, onwards. After Wayne Rooney described his winning goal against United's arch-rivals Man City as the best goal of his career, what other sporting performances rank as the greatest ever? Open with Alex.
Mine was probably be Johnny Wilkinson at the 2004 Rugby World Cup.
Oh, good
When
answer.
he scored that try, I believe it's what it's called. I'm not a huge rugby buff, so forgive me. But no, he scored that point for us, and it was a magical moment. I mean, I remember vividly where I was at that very moment. I was in a pub watching it in the morning of all things. So insight into my life there as a kid in pubs. But no, it was really nice, and that moment just stands out, and the whole place just came alive in rapturous applause and cheer.
It would be, I mean, it was the moment where rugby was all of a sudden rugby could take over football's position.
Yeah.
But it's like sort of failed to. But Johnny Wilkinson's still knocking around, isn't he, in the rugby scene?
Yeah, yeah.
So good answer, Alex. Mai, what have you got for us?
Well, I'm not big on sports in general, but I do find it quite fun to watch curling. So the greatest moment must be when Norway got the gold medal in the 2002 Olympics. That is one of the
Pictures
few
is,
sports I actually enjoy watching.
Curling?
So, yeah, it's fun.
Curling is actually pretty fun to watch.
It's actually fun to watch. You wouldn't
Really
think
difficult
it.
to play.
but
Yeah.
it's
You
fun.
play it on the Wii. It's really hard.
I have vivid memories of watching one of the Beatles films, and there's a curling scene in that where one of the curling stones is actually a bomb.
Remember when the Scottish ladies team won it, and then they got like MBs and OBs and everything, and then like 6 months later, everyone was like, "What was curling?"
Yeah.
Oh, also the Norwegian team's trousers in the previous Olympics probably needs mention.
Oh, they were pretty. Were they very vibrant?
They were. Yeah, they look like clowns' trousers or something. They're pretty fun. They have their own Facebook page, the trousers.
Nice.
Yeah.
James.
I'll go for something a little different. Eddie Izzard for Sport Relief. When he did his epic 43 marathon
That was good.
trek around the United Kingdom it was like round trip of over 1,200 miles or something, wasn't it? He
Yeah.
raised well over £200,000, and he's a 47-year-old transvestite comedian who'd never done any competitive running before in his life.
He's destined to marry Freya Mustard.
Indeed, as she would have it, yeah. And he did 43 marathons over 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And just watching him go through that, visiting places from his past on the Sky One TV programme, I think it was.
It was
I can't
BBC.
remember. Was it BBC?
Who narrated it, Alex?
Oh,
I knew that.
It is a documentary.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Don't be
come
sorry.
on. It was Doctor Who.
David Tennant.
David Tennant narrates it.
It was just a fantastic thing to watch, and a really inspiring thing.
Indeed. And so much so I went and did the Sport Relief 6 mile run last year as well.
Yes, you did. I remember. I sponsored you.
Yeah, I did
done.
well. Okay, this question came in sort of at the last minute after I'd done the quiz on Monday. But World Cup winning Brazilian footballer Ronaldo retired on Monday. So give me a tale about one of the world's greatest ever strikers. James, have you got anything?
I couldn't really care less, but I did read somewhere about him having that fiasco with some transsexual stripper, hooker type people, and he tried to pay them off when he found out they were not women.
Right. Maja?
I got nothing. I know nothing about Ronaldo, and like James said, couldn't care less.
Oh, Alex. Chance to pull back points
Jimmy.
here.
Jimmy stole what I was going to say. James stole what I was going to say.
The transvestite thing.
Yes. Damn you, you stole it from me.
I am a point thief.
Good God, man. Oh, never mind. But I don't know anything about football. I'm not a huge football buff, so I won't be able to come up with any stories.
I think he did his cruciate knee ligaments. Completely tore them in half.
Freya's frantically saying, points for James, points for James, points for James.
Hang on, we should probably do the scores before I have the next set of songs. It's very
drama.
The drama. Lagging behind on 10, it's Alex. Second place on 12, it's Maja. And James is in the lead on 14.
Oh no.
Booyah!
Okay, we've got 2 cracking songs coming up for you now.
Are they crackers, are they, mate?
They're absolute crackers.
What kind of crackers?
The
They're,
derogatory term for white people used by other ethnic groups, or
no, because
like Ritz.
no, they're good songs.
I see.
Yeah,
They're Jacobs.
yeah, they're Jacobs
They're
songs.
Jacobs.
They're Jacobs songs.
Jacobs.
Well, I'm partial to a Ritz.
Alright.
I do like a Ritz.
Bit of Philadelphia.
Bit,
Yeah, I was
or
going to
pate.
say, is there cheese
Pate.
No, I
on
don't
these
like
crackers?
pate.
We should really have a question about food one.
The little glass of port.
Right, anyway, here's some 80s classics for you, and they do tie in with the next question.
They better.
They do. So
We
listen.
make 80s classics. 80s classics are good.
So listen to these next 2 songs and see if you can work out what the connection is. First up, Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr., followed
Here we
by
go.
Oh yeah.
Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie.
Oh, awesome.
Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering what the link between those 2 songs is. And
I really don't think they are wondering. I think they figured it out.
They
Yeah, I
probably-
think they figured it out. I know they figured it out.
They have figured it out. Indeed, those 2 songs were... I'm not going to say honour, because that's too strong a word. More sort of a reminder of how good those songs were before 2 Irishmen got hold of them. After we discussed on the debut show Blue's task of leading the UK to Eurovision glory, now Jedward, yes, Jedward, have been named as Ireland's representatives.
Lord help us.
So what is Jedward's greatest contribution to the human race? Alex.
Bringing the use of excessive amounts of hair gel back into fashion since the 90s, or Never Ending Story 3, whichever one.
And mine is kind of similar, but not the same. I was going to say how they've obviously volunteered as test subjects for big companies creating hairspray. And I think this is a great contribution to us girls who use hairspray, because now we get it tested on humans. I mean, they've volunteered.
Okay. James, what is your...
Mine's fairly simple in comparison. They haven't made it yet. They're still alive.
How is that a great contribution, though? Isn't...
Well, when
When they're dead,
Hmm?
they haven't made their contribution yet because
Oh,
they're still alive.
Right, now I get it. Sorry, that was me being slow.
See, for me, I'm going to play a clip here, and I think this basically sums up Jedward's greatest contribution.
Please. I think I know what it is. Go on, Katie, what is it? Do tell. No, I know. Shut up! Shut up, just shut up. Shut up, just shut up. Shut up, you just shut up. In that case, you were right through people over it. It's the duck eye place. It's a not so bad, it's a nicer place. Yeah, like, sure. Please shut up. Are you trying to tell us something? Yeah.
Yes, that was Jedward on Never Mind the Buzzcocks. I think that is potentially their greatest ever contribution to society.
They visited the Tesco in my hometown once, and security had to confiscate their microphones because they were being too loud.
Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
True story.
So no megaphones near Jedward then,
No.
or we'd all suffer.
Oh dear. Shall I go for the next question?
Go for it.
It's not as sickening, but it's still quite sickening. Labour leader Ed Miliband has revealed that Robbie Williams' Angels is the song that lights his romantic fire. But what song gets you in the mood for love? No, James. Songs that get you in the mood for love.
Carlos Santana's instrumental guitar piece, Europa.
Oh,
It's fantastic. Soul-moving stuff.
I see. You're taking this very seriously this week.
Yes.
No
very.
death to chimpanzees this
No,
week. Just
minimal
Jedward.
chimpanzee.
Just Jedward,
Yeah.
which is acceptable.
Yeah.
Alex, what have you got?
Am I allowed to have two, or is that just the one?
Oh,
I'm kind of going to have one.
what have you got? It depends.
Oh darn. There's Santa Baby by Eartha Kitt, who was Catwoman in the Batman TV series. And there's also Angel Put the Devil in Me by the Orchestra of Wales, Murray Gold, who does the Doctor Who music.
Maja.
Mine is Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. It's my favourite love song.
Nobody going for Enrique?
No.
I see.
What was the answer you wanted, Mac?
Something
know.
involving Enrique Iglesias. I think.
Oh god.
That's good. No, gotta have George Michael Faith.
Oh. That puts you in the mood for love?
Just the dancing. Okay, Beyonce and Coldplay have been announced as headline acts for Glastonbury this year. But if you could have a
Strauss.
special performance in your back garden, who would be your headline act?
Jedward. Just kidding.
Maja, what have you got?
I would pick Lady Gaga. I like Lady Gaga, even though I don't know. She's pretty good, actually. Surprisingly, she's not my style normally, but I've come
She's
to
doing interesting things.
I've grown fond of her.
You're not worried she'd take your bacon out of the freezer to fashion a hat out of it?
No,
James.
she'd draw a crowd. I know.
Would. James, what have you got?
My answer links into the previous question. Actually, I'd have Carlos Santana headlining because I could listen to him play all day. Literally, he's fantastic.
In the band Santana? Or?
He is Santana,
Ah,
the guitar legend.
I see.
I'm shocked you didn't know that, mate.
No, I know
Points
who-
off for you.
I know who he is.
You'd have to have his samba accompaniment, of course.
Of course. Alex, what have you got?
It would have to be Queen all the way.
Oh.
That was a close second for me.
But which version of Queen?
version.
Would it be Freddie Mercury or would it be the new one with Paul Rogers?
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
Of course.
Alex is suddenly hitting his stride.
That's nice.
That's I think that's the end of the music questions, actually. We're flying through them today. In last place on 21, Maja.
Oh no! Gone down in the
On
world.
23 points, having taken a storming 10 on the last two questions, Alex.
Thank you, Freddie.
And on 25 points, just in the lead, it's James. Yep. Wow, I mean, I wrote this on Monday, and I completely forgot that the Brit Awards were on Tuesday night. So we're covering the more important stuff of the BAFTAs, because let's face it, no one actually cares about music anymore.
No, I don't care about the Brits.
No, number one doesn't really matter now that you can download anything.
It's true.
And that'll count towards it. Christmas number one doesn't exist anymore since X Factor started stealing air every year.
Yeah.
And
Soulless
they
monsters.
contributed Jedward to the music scene as well.
Oh dear.
And Wagner.
Oh. Yeah.
So shall we discuss the BAFTAs?
Yes, let's do.
Just first off, BAFTAs, are they on equal paring with the Oscars, or
No.
are they not as good?
They are. I think they're important as well, but I don't think they rank the highest. I think Oscars get
Oscars
more
like the
attention.
Yeah,
than
Oscars the creme de la creme. But
Yeah.
I know a lot of actors that do get Oscar nominations and Oscar awards think more highly of the BAFTAs themselves. So
So, the BAFTAs on Sunday night. King's Speech picking up 7 awards. So first of the two-parter. I think the two-parter could become a regular feature, maybe.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. Greatest British film ever. Alex.
With Nail and I.
Ah, such a good
It
film.
has to be without doubt one of the best British films of all time.
I knew that one was going to come up here. I had a feeling. So I would say.
And it's
So
just,
good.
It just epitomises Britain in the late 60s, and you can trace it back, and you can relate so much stuff in it back to today, because it was a bad economic time, 2 struggling creatives bugger off to the country,
Paul McGann,
exactly.
Richard
Paul
D.
McGann.
Grant.
Yeah, 2 brilliant actors, and Richard Griffiths.
Richard Griffiths is the gay uncle, yeah.
He loves you, and I adore you. But no, that would probably have to be the best British film in my view.
It's a very good answer. Maja, what have you got?
I've chosen a film called A Matter of Life and Death.
Oh.
It's by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, made in 1946. And I hadn't seen it until very recently, and I just completely fell in love with it. It's amazing. It's like a romantic story, but it's got some fantasy elements. Guy who cheats death, and then they have this whole like the people in the afterlife trying to get him because he actually
Sounds quite good.
supposed to die. Yeah, it's very good.
James, what have you got for us, Shura?
I've gone for The Italian Job.
Oh, hold on,
Another
hold
one I
on,
thought would come up.
hold on.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Absolute genius.
Yeah, it's very good.
Fantastic film. Why is it the best then?
Well, for one, I love Michael Caine in it. I love the minis. It's fantastic. And most importantly, the scene where they're driving through the tunnel and they try to go all the way around was actually filmed at the Sal Valley Sewer Duplication System in Stoke Aldermore in my hometown of Coventry, about half an hour away from where I live. And for that reason alone, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and they almost did it on Top Gear, didn't they? The
Yeah,
other
they
series.
did try it, yeah.
They got offered the Belfast sewers to do it in, and they just did
Yeah.
a bit of him driving in it with Ross Kemp in the boot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor Ross Kemp. They did that to him a few times, didn't they? Chuck him in the boot.
Did you see the other week with can you fit Sienna Miller in the glove box?
Yeah, that was just so random.
Freya contributes Hot Fuzz, by the way.
Hot Fuzz is good.
It's a fantastic film.
It's a good film.
What's the matter? Never taken a shortcut before?
No, that's Shaun of the...
And it's both.
Oh, both.
Both.
Right, yeah.
The Shaun of the Dead one, doesn't he like fall over it, and then the Hot Fuzz one he flips over it, and
In
then
Hot Fuzz, he does all the flipping over it, and then Nick Frost's character just sort of barges
To
through
be
it.
slightly off topic, but I really want to see Paul.
yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
I really want to see that.
So second part of our BAFTAs question: greatest British actor or actress ever. Let's start with James.
I've got two. The obvious answer for me was Christopher Lee, what with his being awarded the
Mhm.
fellowship at the BAFTAs for his long and illustrious career. But I've also gone for Alec Guinness, because I loved him as Obi-Wan in the original Star Wars films, and also if you've seen the original version of The Lady Killers,
Mm-hmm.
he was fantastic in that. Really, really dark comedy. It was really
Bridge
fun.
Over the River Kwai as well.
Yeah,
He
fantastic.
got
The
an
rest is-
Oscar nomination. Did he get an Oscar or an Oscar nomination for that?
I think he probably got a nomination for it. I don't know whether he actually got.
And he, of course, is in the classic 80s movie Raise the Titanic, which is terrible. I recommend nobody sees
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I shall avoid it.
James, you're having a very strong performance.
Booyah!
Maya, what have you got?
I've got about 7 answers, but I'll pick my favourite actress is Judi Dench. I think she's amazing. I think favourite actor would probably be Alan Rickman.
Oh, he's a good actor.
He is a good one.
Die Hard.
Very good film, very
Rob-
good villain.
He played a very good paranoid android, I felt.
Yes, he
he
did.
was.
I'm going to kill
Also,
myself.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah, and Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
He turned that down twice before they were like, "Look, do whatever you want
He
with the
does
character."
seem to get typecast as villains, though, doesn't
But
he?
he's such a
Bless
good
him.
villain.
He is a good villain.
He's
My
not a
favourite
villain.
He
would
looks
have
like
to
a
be
villain.
Very-
Love Actually,
very-
where he goes, "What are you going to do? Dip it in yogurt?"
I do like him in that, actually. He's good in that.
He's good in Robin Hood as well. With
Good
"I'll
in
cut
everything.
your heart out with a spoon."
It's a good line. His appalling accents in Die Hard were just.
I mean, he's
hilarious.
German. Yeah, but he's really good in it though.
Yeah, he is good, but his accent is German, and then his German trying to be American.
Plus, he's very good at the pause, isn't he, Alan Rickman? In Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Mm.
What are you doing out? Somebody'll think you are. Up to
Just-
something. Alex, what have you got?
Right, well, you've asked a Doctor Who fan who is favourite British actors. You're asking for trouble here. But no, okay, well, in the event, I've got 3 choices.
Sylvester McCoy.
No, sadly not, no. I was, Matt Smith is one of my favourite British actors. You know, I feel that he just brings such an intensity and such an aura, and plus, and that's not just in Doctor Who, this is in every performance he's in. He just brings such a finesse and just such a quirkiness to it. Even if the character isn't that quirky, he just brings that extra little something to it, and it takes, you know, a ruddy good actor to do that.
Carla's currently drowning in dribble at the thought of Matt Smith.
Keep swimming, Carla, keep swimming. Get the armbands on the rubber ring.
Excuse me?
Well, fill the house, just get up. Okay, next one. Okay, well, my other one, this is a bit obvious, yet it's not that obvious. Kenneth Williams,
Oh.
who he never fails to make me laugh, that man. And again, he's quite quirky, yet it's a different sort of quirkiness. He almost feels quite sinister in many ways, and I do like that, and he is probably one of my biggest inspirations. I know it's a very odd choice, but I feel he's a very good actor too. And then my third and final one is a bit controversial, as not many people outside of a certain niche would have heard of him, but Paul Darrow, anybody?
No?
Who played, there's basically, long story short, there's a TV series called Blake 7 that I'm a fan of, and Avon, Paul Darrow plays a character called Avon, who's a very cynical, hard-bitten computer expert, and Darrow plays it with such conviction, and the character's only meant to be that likeable, yet Darrow makes him likeable, and to make an unlikable character likeable takes a good actor. But then later in his career, though, he did a complete 360-degree turn and played Elvis. So the contrast is amazing, and, you know, again, Mr. Darrow is another very intense actor, which I feel he's not very well known, but I think he needs to be commended for that. So those are my 3 choices.
That makes the scores very, very interesting as we enter the halfway stage of the show. On 29 points is Maya. Just ahead of her on 31, Alex. carving out a commanding lead on 35 points. It's James.
Yes.
We've still got a few questions left. We can catch up.
Listeners, there's a Facebook group called the 11 O'Clock Waffle. Join it and post your suggestions for today's panellists. 20-second improv round. They have to do product placement for a product of your choice. So come up with your suggestions for that. Because charity alcohol concern believes that by 2015 the number of people being admitted to hospital over drinking issues will rise to 1.5 million. So, in honour of that, what is the best drink, Alex?
Is this alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
It can be either.
Okay, can I choose for either category, or does it have to be one?
Just go for one.
Okay, I'm going to be very sophisticated and say rosé.
Oh, wine?
Yeah.
It's wine, yeah?
White rosé wine.
Maya, what have you got?
Cosmopolitan.
Oh, just going with the classic.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what James's answer is, because it's very, very tight now.
I've got two. For a non-alcoholic, I've gone for Vimto because it's fantastic. But for alcoholic, either a good Irish whiskey by itself or a Ferrari Jack.
Explain.
Which is a measure of bourbon, generally Jack Daniels, a measure of Amaretto rather, and topped up with Coke.
Is this what you were drinking in
quite probably,
Mango Tango that time?
Yeah, it's a sophisticated yet manly cocktail. So you can order a cocktail in a cocktail bar and still retain some manliness.
You're taking great care of your answers today, aren't you? To try and score maximum points.
I am.
You know, it's a real shame we don't have Lucy on this week's show for the drinking question.
Are you implying she's some form of alcoholic?
No, not at all.
Okay then.
But,
She'd probably say cosmopolitan as well.
She probably would, actually, yeah.
She likes cosmos. We tend to get them together when we're out.
I do like a Budweiser.
I'm quite surprised nobody said vodka martini.
I am
Shaken, not
surprised
stirred.
nobody went for that.
I actually ordered that in the shed once, and the guy made it for me.
Epic.
Yeah.
Did you ask for shaken, not stirred?
I was wearing a black suit. I walked in and said, vodka martini, shaken, not stirred, in a Sean Connery voice.
Did you as well? That's
Yes, I did.
pretty cool.
It's like going into Domino's and ordering a pizza to number 42 Evergreen Terrace.
I just want to get me and my mate want to go into a bar and just go up to the bar and be like, Appletini please, easy on the teeny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Scrubs.
I see.
I should probably take points off you actually if you don't like Scrubs.
I never said I didn't like them.
That's okay, just not making Lucy's mistake.
I love Dr. Cox, he's hilarious.
Okay, this next question, bit gory. An artist who had a camera attached to the back of his head in order to capture a photo every minute for a year had to have it removed over health issues. But what piece of technology will you have integrated into your own body and why? So, Maya.
I was a bit like, I don't know if I would want a lot of technology integrated into my body, but maybe like an iPhone would be handy. Just have it there, and you could have like a little speaker thing near your ear, and then mic somewhere near, and then you'd have like the screen of it like in your arm, so you could just do. And it has all things, so you'd have every gadget with you at all times. Pretty handy.
They did something like this in one of the new episodes of Futurama. They called it the iPhone, where the I was spelt EYE.
Oh, right.
And they actually just stuck it in their eye and project it in front of them.
Oh, really?
It's quite funny.
James, what have you got? Are you going to make a mistake and slip up?
No, I hope not. My initial thought was all manner of weaponry, but that's a bit bizarre. So I've gone for like cameras in your eyes with like extra hard drives for your brain, so that you can just remember things a lot easier. So just photograph it. It'd be like literally a photographic memory. Also, Kevlar plates under your skin. Anyone tries to mug you, they're in for a big surprise. Oh.
That's really clever.
That is a good idea. Use a point for your answer of trying to equip your body with guns. You're not a transformer, James.
Optimus.
But well done for the actual answer. Alex, can Alex score a bunch of points here?
Okay, I'll give it my best shot. Get the shot sound effect.
Oh, hang on.
Give it my best shot. Thank you.
Nice.
We're so good at the puns on this show.
Yay! More puns than Douglas Adams.
Oh.
Stanley's in
What would Doctor Who use to kill a vampire? A garlic Dalek.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
No.
Have you not seen State of Decay, the Tom Baker story in 1981? Was it 1980? Well, early 80s. He drove a spaceship through the heart of a giant vampire.
Ouch.
I know. Trivia. Okay, no. The answer to my question. Okay. This is the pretty obvious answer, a little bit sad, but I'd have.
Is it?
No. Actually, no.
Oh.
I was going to have the computer that could connect to the internet, so I could tune in to the 11 o'clock waffle wherever I was.
Sucking up.
That was low.
Sucking up.
Chris Stanley would like another eye in the back of his head, please. That's his contribution.
Any reason?
I don't know. It doesn't say. And Lucy is
see
quite
right
upset about you calling her an alcoholic.
Yeah, but she did respond straight away with Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, she did.
Surprised you weren't going for the sonic screwdriver. I had the sound effect all lined
I've
up.
already got one of those.
Ah.
God bless Forbidden Planet. That's what I can say.
Which one though?
I got the Matt Smith one. I want to get my hands on. There's the third Doctor one, which is like the John Pertwee's Doctor.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, they're going to bring back a new screwdriver, aren't they, when they return? Because the other one got eaten by a shark.
Oh, Matt Smith's?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So he's going to end up with the one that Riversong gives him. That's my theory, anyway. Sorry, non-Doctor Who fans, we're geeking out a bit.
That could be interesting. Shall we have some more songs and try and think up product placement suggestions for the guests to promote at the end of the show in the final round, 20 seconds. And I should probably do the scores actually.
Yes.
37 points for Maja, 39 points for Alex, ever so slightly closing on James on 42.
Yes!
With, what have we got? 4 questions remaining. You could possibly break.
I need to get 18 points
18
to
tie.
equal Ed's record.
And if you include the 20-second bonus round,
it can be done.
Can be done. But we
watch out, Mr. Duncan.
We have 45 minutes to go yet, so it's a long way. A long way. Here is continuing the anti-Valentines, recovery from last week. Here's "Cheating on You" by Franz Ferdinand. That was Alan Rickman in Robin Hood.
Absolute genius.
Brilliant.
Cancel Christmas.
The thing is, Alan Rickman could cancel Christmas. If he came round your house and said Christmas is cancelled,
you wouldn't argue, would you?
You wouldn't argue.
You'd be too busy going, holy cow, Alan Rickman's at my house.
We should probably continue on with the show. 4 questions, 35 minutes.
Yes, let's get on with me winning.
Somebody's got to... Oh, hang on. Can't have that big-headedness getting on the show, James.
Yes, he's losing points now.
Getting too big for his boots. Remember, people, come in on the Facebook with the suggestions for what products people should promote at the end of the show. So I'm going to have to come up with them all by myself. And I'll have to play that song again. But this time I'll play the Barrowman version. So, Radio 4 on their Today programme had a feature about children's war fiction. About whether it's being toned down and having the blood and gore removed from it. But what is the best children's war novel? Alex?
Now, I've not read many of these, but the one that I have read does stand out very vividly in my books, was the only one I read. But because it was very, very gory on reflection. It's been a few years since I've looked at it, but it's called The Machine Gunners. Don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
But basically, long story short, it's about a gang of kids who basically form their own little mini army, as it were, within Britain to help fend off the Nazis. And there's actually a very gory scene, which I remember, because I had to study it for English, and we had to do, I think we had to write like a report on it. And one of the scenes that stuck out for me was a scene where the lead character, Chaz, I think his name is, Chaz, there's a crashed Spitfire in his local wood. He goes there, breaks into the cockpit, there's a dead body in there, and I think he pokes the dead man's eye with a stick. So I don't think you get that past the censors nowadays, but I mean, that stuck up pretty well. And in my report, I said something like, yes, I was a bit surprised at the somewhat unusual violence, or the use of goriness.
Yeah. It's a good answer, Alex. Maja, what have you got?
Well, there is this book that I read when I was like 10 that I cannot for the life of me remember the name of, which was about this girl who kind of she lived in the present, but she went back in time somehow to this girl who was Jewish, part of a Jewish family in the Holocaust, and I loved that book. I can't remember the name of it, so instead my answer is The Diary of Anne Frank, which is an excellent book.
Iconic book.
It's good.
I think they did an adaptation of it on BBC last year, or
Quite
2 years
probably.
ago.
I
Yeah,
think they did a few.
they did
television
one.
adaptations
They did one
of it.
recently with Tamsin Gregg. I know that much. James, what have you got?
Well, I had a hard time thinking about this one because I haven't really read many children's war books. I've initially thought of The Book Thief, but just now, while the other two have been given their answer, I'd thought of Michael Frayn's Spies. Have you ever read that?
I think it was on the A-level or GCSE unit, but
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
did
do it on
I did it for
course.
A-level. It was really interesting. These two young boys, well, it's actually one of the characters as an adult going back to where he lived during the war and reliving the past events. It was Stephen and his friend Keith, and he thought his friend's mum was a spy because she kept disappearing off through this tunnel under a railroad to visit some mysterious person who was actually his uncle, who was an RAF pilot who was shot down. And it was really interesting. It was made everybody look like a bad guy, and it was really just someone having an affair, trying to keep it secret, and the RAF guy didn't want anybody to know he was there because he'd be brought in for cowardice because it's not fighting.
Ah,
It's a really interesting book.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody went for Goodnight Mr. Tom.
Of course.
Never read it.
But, you know, it's one of the classics. John Ford, good actor. Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, was that a book first?
It is a book, yeah.
Wasn't The Pianist a book?
The Pianist as well? Is that children's though? Is it?
No, it wouldn't be
doubt
children's.
I think the problem is that, like, I haven't read that many
Yeah.
of those
neither have I.
books, which is why
My
I was,
sister's
like,
read a few, I think.
felt like I had to choose one that
We
I
get to do
read.
on our course, we get to read the Misery Memoirs.
Yeah.
Daddy,
Joy.
don't. A supercomputer called Watson, designed by IBM, is to take on 2 human contestants on American quiz show Jeopardy. But what is the greatest robotic creation? Maja.
Well, I'm going for the little dog, Ibo, because it can dance and it can play football, which I think is pretty awesome for a little robot dog. And it can also recognise commands.
That is good. And there's no mess like you get with a real dog.
It's true.
Alex, what have you got?
Well, I actually had one answer, but then hearing Maja's spawned off an idea.
I think I know where
Yes,
it's going.
You know where I mean,
I got.
can I say them both? My original one.
Okay,
and the
go
new
on.
one. My original one was Robbie the Robot from the science fiction films, particularly the Space Family Robertson. But the one that Maja inspired is K9.
Oh.
No.
Affirmative mistress. He's got his own show now, actually, on Channel 5.
Channel 5, yeah. It was on
Yes.
over Christmas.
So that's fantastic. So the dog's achieved so much since he first appeared in 1977.
He just cranks out all the facts,
Yes.
did he?
It's fantastic.
It was made for me, that tune.
No, I already know James's answer, so get on with
I've
it.
kind of got two. My first thing was Summer Glau in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. She played
Wow.
a Terminator in that. That was fantastic. But on a more serious note, I've gone for Deep Blue, the chess computer,
Oh.
who beat reigning world champion Garry Kasparov back in 1997. It won 3.5 points to 2.5 points in May of 97. Kasparov decided it was cheating because he said he saw ingenuity and creativity in its moves. He said it was playing too much like a human. So IBM, who created Deep Blue, said no, it was all down to the program. We had no involvement in it whatsoever other than in the break between games, which was allowed. So I think it's really interesting. Was it just developing a sort of intelligence of its own
Mhm.
and becoming more human, like in Terminator? or were they actually cheating? They never found out because when he challenged them to a rematch, they dismantled the thing.
Oh, that's convenient.
Another science fiction creation that springs to mind is actually HAL 3000 out of 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah. I'm afraid I can't.
You know I can't let you do that, Dave.
It's actually my housemate's answer, actually, when I asked him this morning.
Alright. The soft-spoken sociopathic robot in the history of science fiction.
Reminds me of the Armstrong and Miller sketches.
Yeah, I think we'll try and find that, actually.
What are you doing? Would you like to play chess?
Ooh.
On 47 points is Alex.
Oh, I'm not last anymore.
On 47 points
Oh, I am
is
still
Maja.
last.
Neck and neck.
On 47 points is James.
We're all last. We're all
Ooh.
first.
Oh, Lord.
This is very exciting.
With 2 questions to go.
We've caught up. Oh my
The
god.
game is on.
Because, see, I could have given you
Exciting.
loads for just saying Summer Glau, but then, you know, you're just pandering to biasness. And then Alex just keeps
It was
cranking out.
actually my first thought.
Alex keeps cranking out stats of Doctor Who, and
Yeah.
but it makes for a very tense final 2 questions,
Mm.
followed by the product
20
placement, of
seconds.
which we have had some answers in now.
Ooh.
So, final 2 questions before the 20-second product placement final round. Scores are tied at 47 all. On the 28th of February, product placement will be allowed onto British television, with the exception of BBC services. But what is the worst case of product placement? We'll start with James on this one.
Well, I'm going to be a bit boring and go for the cars in Transformers, because it's just a big car fest. Bumblebee, of course, is the Chevrolet Camaro.
Yeah.
This is just in the first film. Jazz was the Pontiac Crossfire, I believe. And then in the second one, I think Sideswipe was the new Corvette. And then, of course, in the rubble, in the first one, there's a big subway sign. It's pretty bad in my books.
I'll be honest, James, I think out of like first 14 questions, about 7 of your answers have been Transformers.
I do like the Transformers.
Closing in on Edgar's target of 60. Maja.
My answer is the Nokia phone in the new Star Trek film.
Oh.
In the beginning, where he's on his motorbike. Is it a motorbike or
Yeah,
car?
he's on a motorbike.
Anyway, and he's got his phone out, and it's Nokia, and it's even got the little dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's pretty obvious.
Nokia, the device of Starfleet, is it?
Starfleet.
Starfleet.
Incoming message from Starfleet Captain.
Alex, what have you got?
There's a film called Wayne's World out there, and then there's a whole scene where, and this is deliberately done. That they're playing on product placement. It's made to be part of the joke. They deliberately plug all these various companies like Pizza Hut, I think McDonald's, Pepsi, and it's deliberately part of the joke. But personally, I don't really get the joke. I mean, I understand what they're doing, but I just don't find it funny. And in my mind, personally, that's why it's so awful. It's just so deadpan. I don't know if any of you have seen Wayne's World,
Yeah.
No.
but it just feels like you've seen it, haven't you, James?
Yeah.
Like when they do like the I will not be promoted. I will not be tricked into product placement. Opens up a box of Pizza Hut pizza
Yeah.
with the logo directly at the camera. But in my mind, it just doesn't really work because it's too subtle and underplayed. So that's my
Yeah.
contribution.
A good answer.
While he was saying that, I just thought of
Oh, he's...
White Castle in Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies. It's all about getting to White Castle for some burgers. And that's just
you've
essentially
missed,
a gigantic advert.
You've missed an obvious one there, of course.
What's that?
Chuck.
Chuck, of course, yeah.
Sponsored, co-funded
Subway
by
all
Subway,
the
and
time.
they're always eating
Yeah.
Subway.
Oh, yeah.
Subway's always being mentioned.
That's
Yeah.
true. I've actually never thought of that.
Summer Glau turns up, cameras on her legs, there's a thing of Subway in her hand.
Yeah.
Big Mike likes his marinara meatball.
Yeah.
I suppose those are the best product placements that you don't actually
Yeah.
The ones
think
you don't
about.
Think about, yeah.
But I think a lot of the time, like films and stuff, they have what you would think maybe was product placement, but isn't really, because they're just being like authentic. So they have like Coca-Cola in there because that's what these people
That's what
would
they
actually
have.
drink, which I think is okay when it's like actually real and not being sponsored by the company. I think is fine, but
few on the Facebook. Chris Stanley says, how about the bit in Shrek 2 where they run from one Starbucks to another? And Freya says they always say her mum looks a bit like the dude from Wayne's World. But just for Freya. What about James Bond as well? Casino Royale, my Vio laptop and me Ford Focus car.
And of course all the Aston Martins.
Well, what about the social network? It's basically like Facebook, yeah.
You probably go online to Facebook to like the film. Okay, final question of the show before the improvisation round. Lacey Turner of EastEnders fame has been cast as the Bride of Frankenstein, a BBC Three's live musical adaptation due to be broadcast on the 19th of March. So who would you cast as Frankenstein and his monster? So of Alex.
I would probably cast Tommy Wiseau as Frankenstein, and as the monster I'd have Christopher Walken.
Oh, explain.
Well, I mean, Tommy Wiseau was once described as Christopher Walken without any likability. I just think having him play this mad scientist, because Tommy Wiseau, with all due respect, from what I've seen of him, can't actually act very well. So I think it'd be quite funny to have this very intense, emotional role played by somebody who literally he isn't very good and is very non-clinical. I mean, have any of you here seen a film called The Room?
No, not yet.
Where has Tommy Wiseau in, and he just downplays everything to the extreme. He's not even acting; he's just saying the lines. I mean, Christopher Walken as the monster. I mean, Christopher Walken was once described as an alien who just got left on planet Earth. So I think it pretty much says itself, really. And I think because he can be, again, he can like Kenneth Williams. He's quirky, yet he's also got a very sinister edge to him. So I think he'd be quite a good one. Plus, he can go a bit gangster, like, "Yo, I'm gonna kill you, yeah." So he fits the soldering iron.
Okay, Maya, what have you got for us?
Well, I have the monster cast, but I couldn't think of anyone to play Frankenstein. But I cast Arnold Schwarzenegger as the monster just because he looks the part.
I'll be back.
It's a good answer. Although we have to give the for not having Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I missed the Pac-Man noise. So, James.
I'm trying to think of a Frankenstein's monster line that I could say as Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I'm struggling to come up with one.
Well, Freya's got Simon Pegg as Frankenstein, Nick Frost as the monster.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I think, Freya could possibly be winning at this point.
my answer kind of ties in with one we've done earlier on the Jedward's greatest contribution to the world, and I've cast Jedward as Frankenstein and his monster purely for the fact that both characters die, so we could actually kill them at the end of the show.
Therefore, they'd be doing the world a service.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
See, it's all going to come down to the product placement question. Last chance, last song, 3 minutes to get on the emails and the Facebook with your product placement for today's guests. They have 20 seconds to plug a product that you suggest. So I should probably now read out the scores. On 52 points, Alex. 53 points, tied. It's Maya and James.
I'm so gonna beat you.
So, as we
I need 7 points to beat Ed.
7 points. You can't beat him now. The most you can get is 5.
Well, we've already decided that we can't really compare to that one because it was different system of points.
Well, you've come close. I mean, you've left Lucy in the dust. Whoever wins. And that was Robbie Williams and Jonathan Wilkes with Me and My Shadow. You join us back at the very, very, very tense point of the show. I shall read the scores out in a second, but are you feeling nervous, people?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Little bit. The scores. Alex is on 52. Maya and James are tied on 53. Now, the final round, they have 20 seconds to plug a product. And thank you very much for all of your inputs on the Facebook. It's very appreciated. So, who should we start with? Alex, you're in last place. I think we should start with you. So, Alex, you have 20 seconds to promote a range of Doctor Who condoms. Go.
Need help getting your sonic screwdriver to whirl? Getting your TARDIS to dematerialise? You use the Doctor Who condoms. Guaranteed to help you transcend space and time into your lover.
God, he's too good at this.
That'll make them shout exterminate. Other manner of phrases, Doctor Who related. Trust me, Doctor Who condoms are the best. They're very best. They're very good. Better than jelly babies.
And with that smile, winning smile.
Tom Baker smile.
Oh dear. Oh
It's going to be
god.
hard to top.
That is brilliant.
That was really good.
Maya,
Oh no.
you have to promote Volvo cars.
Volvo cars.
Okay, and your time starts now.
Hello, I am from Sweden and we sell Volvo cars. We are the best cars in the industry. We move like the wind and... Yeah, buy Volvo cars, Swedish brand, best ever. I suck at this still. Totally.
All down to James.
You're too good at this, Alex.
Sexy.
I don't know, because James, when we did this on the
Oh,
first
no.
show,
Gosh.
was epic.
Oh,
Ah.
oh God!
Oh,
That was a
nearly
horrible
had a snake.
sound. Don't rip your head off.
James,
Break it to me gently.
you have to promote Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan's television show, The Trip, on DVD. Wait. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, as we've previously established in the first week, I'm a massive fan of Rob Brydon and his fantastic comic ability, and coupled with Steve Coogan, who I feel is far more hilarious than Rob Brydon is himself, together on a DVD show would be fantastic. It should be... Go out there and buy it right now, because together they're very funny men.
It's time. I should probably do the final scores.
I know who I think should have won that last round. No, it wasn't you, James.
Are we ready for the final scores?
Oh, dear.
Should I put the dramatic music on?
Yeah.
Affirmative.
What?
On 54 points on her debut show, it's Maya.
Yay!
Just ahead and just behind this week's winner on 56 points. It is James. Which means the winner of this week's show is Alex on 57, 3 short of the record.
God bless Doctor Who
Well
condoms.
done.
Guarantees me to
Curse you,
affirmative.
Rob Brydon.
And just at the last second, everyone comes see Weird Sisters on the 13th of May in the Poly. Sorry, I just had to do that.
Plugging the
Chuckles.
Polly.
Alright, well, we have to attend a seminar now.
That we do.
I
But
don't.
there's-
But
Well,
I'm not going to sit here alone.
me and James do, but there's nobody else in the studio, which means that it's going to go quiet.
It's not
Well,
our problem,
It's
it's
not.
It's
Yeah,
not
they
our
should be here
fault.
by now.
It's their
really.
own fault.
Yeah,
well,
we have to go.
I think
This
there'll
was
be
fun,
everybody
people.
listening will be
It was very fun,
entertained
thank
now
you for
after
having
listening
us
to
on.
us.
yeah, I'm sad I didn't win, but at least I beat Lucy and Emma.
It's
It's a very fun show now.
A record-breaking show.
The record-breaking
the record-breaking show. And next, don't forget to tune in next week, same time, 11 until 1 o'clock on
Same
Thursday.
bad time, same bad channel.
I'm thinking maybe we'll try and get a return of the current record holder,
Return of the Duncan.
return of the D, and maybe some new guests, maybe some old faces. Who knows?
show.
But thank you
Or
very
rather, old voices.
old voices indeed.
Mm.
And thank you very much for listening to us. We hope you have a good week and weekend, really.
Yeah.
Tune in next week, 11 till 1. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.